Hey y'all, I'm MOGIBETH, and today we are talking about reselling myths that need to be debunked. I've been reselling on Poshmark and eBay for I think 8 years now, and I have also consumed a ton of reselling content over those years on YouTube, on Instagram, etc., and definitely have heard some narratives within the reselling community that I just want to go ahead and debunk. So that's what we're doing today. So I've got 5 myths, but I really want to hear from y'all in this video. Let me know in the comments down below if there are any myths that you think I missed, or if you agree or disagree with any of mine. Okay, let's dive into it. Myth number 1 is that reselling is quick and easy money. I think from the outset it might look like that because reselling really is one of the most accessible industries that exists. You can essentially just take things from your house and sell it on eBay. You don't have to go out and get a business license or go hire employees or anything like that. You don't have to raise money. You don't even have to spend money. You can just literally sell things that you already own. There's nothing seemingly easier than that. Additionally, reselling is one of the best business models when it comes to profit margins because oftentimes your cost of goods is very minimal, especially when you're starting out selling things from your house, or if you're sourcing at places like the bins. It really is a highly profitable industry. However, like I mentioned in my video all about efficiency, reselling is an incredibly labor-intensive industry. Each and every listing requires a significant amount of time to source, process, list, ship, etc. And there aren't really that many economies of scale within reselling as well. Additionally, since most of us want to actually grow our businesses, especially in the beginning, we're reinvesting most of our profits into purchasing new inventory. So it actually can take a little bit of time to actually see those profits, even though on a sale-by-sale basis, it is very profitable. Therefore, it's not quick. It actually takes a lot of time to process each and every listing. And it's really not easy, it's a lot of work, and it's not necessarily fast money either. It can take some time to build up a business that's then running like a more well-oiled machine. All right, myth number 2, you should try to double your money. This is something that I heard a lot when I was just starting out reselling, is the phrase, at least I doubled my money. The idea of it being that if you spent $5 on something, you want to then profit at least $5. This is also a 50% profit margin. The problem with that mentality is that you're not only investing your money into each and every piece of inventory, more importantly, oftentimes, you're investing a large amount of time. You're investing labor. And when you are a solopreneur, labor is a very finite resource. And it's a very valuable resource that you want to allocate to inventory that's going to give you the biggest return on your time as possible. Another way of thinking about this is by focusing instead on profit margin, focus on profit. And it's been a while, but I actually did an entire video just on the concept of profit versus profit margin, which I'll link up on the screen because I think it actually was a pretty good one. It was one that Matt really was very involved in. So if you're interested, I'll link that up. Okay, myth number 3, and I actually fell into this trap for the majority of my reselling career, and I continue to do so every once in a while, is that you should try to maximize your profit on each and every sale. The truth is, when you focus on getting the most amount of profit for each item individually, I think it really hurts your profitability overall. In clothing retail, which resale is, sell-through rate is king. Generally, you want to sell as much inventory as possible, as quickly as possible, and you really don't want inventory to sit for very long. There are, of course, exceptions with certain categories, certain brands, certain business models, but generally it's better to sell an item for, say, 10% less than the maximum you could get for it, but move it quickly rather than waiting a couple more months and getting that maximum profit. That's why my mentality oftentimes is to accept good offers. Don't wait for a great offer. Okay, myth number 4 is that everything sells eventually. This honestly, I feel like was kind of the case when I first started 8 years ago. There were just way fewer options when it came to purchasing pre-owned inventory online. But nowadays, there's ThredUp, there's The RealReal, eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, Depop. There are so many options for customers who are willing to buy used clothing online that there is a fair amount of clothing in the world that exists that just will not sell. No longer are the days where you can just pull any old thing from your wardrobe and expect it to sell. And part of the reason is because a lot of brands are incredibly saturated, meaning that the availability or supply of items by those brands on places like Poshmark, eBay, ThredUp, etc. far surpasses the demand for those brands. That's why it's really important to be selective with what you sell. And that brings me to my last myth, which is that you have to be an expert before you start buying inventory to sell. Almost every reseller that I've heard stories from started by selling things in their own house, in their own wardrobe, in their own garage. That was definitely the case for me. My very first sale was a pair of Madewell booties that I had that no longer, or actually never fit me. So I do agree and believe that that is a really great place to start for some people, for people who have sellable items in their wardrobe that have some degree of demand on the resale marketplace. But if you don't have those items in your wardrobe, or if you sell through those items rather quickly, you can definitely start buying inventory at places like thrift stores before you feel like you're an expert. And that's because of a handy little thing that most of us have in our back pocket these days, and that is a smartphone. Really, anyone can go to a thrift store and start shopping through clothing. What you just need to hone the ability to do is to feel for quality items. And then once you find what you think might be a quality item, you pull out your smartphone and you check comps. And I have several videos on this. I have a video specifically on how to check comps that I did a few years ago, but more recently I did a video on how to find style names, which is very much a similar process that I'll also link up on the screen. But another myth that I didn't include is that if you're an expert, you don't check comps. And that, I really do feel strongly, is a myth that needs to be debunked, because checking comps is your best risk mitigation strategy that exists as a reseller, whether you've been doing it for 7 days or 7 years. Things change fairly quickly within the clothing retail space in terms of demand and so forth. And a lot of brands are style specific, meaning, for instance, 2 dresses from J. Crew can sell completely differently. And there are always, no matter how experienced you are, so many brands out there that exist that you just may not have come across before that have demand for them. So check comps. It's a great thing to do. If you don't know what I'm talking about or you don't know the best way to do it, watch those videos. But that's it. Those are my reselling myths. Honestly, off the top of my head, I can think of a few more. So if you like this type of video, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. Also, let me know any myths that you can think of that maybe I should cover in the next one. And if you disagree with me, I love to hear that too. So I've got to go steam some clothing, but I will see y'all in the next one. Okay, love y'all. Bye.